Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to episode 79 of the Verdict Podcast. I'm Splash Jordan.
The lovely Noah-Nee.
You know what it do, it's Millie Rowe.
We are
The Verdict
Podcast.
I'm joined right now by one parent, Lizette Rosenblatt, a mother whose daughter was thankfully able to escape from the school unharmed. Lizette, first of all,
Today, something we never thought we'd experience.
Let's just jump straight into top stories, right? So top story, this was an interesting parallel because there was AJ Calloway, who we know as AJ from Free and AJ, host of 106 in Park, you know, beloved music video jockey as a child. He's a co-host of Extra, and then we also have Katy Perry. They're both accused kind of for the same thing, but there's, you know, it's kind of weird how we look at it, whereas... You know, Katy Perry is accused of sexual misconduct. It's a second person. A female journalist is saying she tried to kiss her. She was drunk. She didn't like that. And it's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny. And I also feel a little bad because I feel like Me Too is going to kill the party girl who likes to get it popping.
But you got the black man who's already the target. It's like, you know what? I want to see how this is going to play out because you got a black man and a white woman.
Well, he was fired. AJ was fired from his job. Here's the thing, though. His allegations, while they are allegations still, they're a little more extreme.
A little aggressive.
A little more aggressive. I know that a drunk person trying to kiss you is definitely aggressive. But, I mean, sir, there's a few women accusing him of, you know, rape. And that's definitely like, you know, that's a whole nother level of, you know, creepy and fuck you. But it is kind of wild, though, because, you know, automatically, you know, we're going to demonize him, you know, black man, but Katy Perry, who's being accused. And when you let people kind of slide, then, you know, the crimes become more heinous.
I'm only mad at AJ for the role that him and Free played him, you know what I mean, in my come up. Like,
this is true. I
106
mean,
in Park was everything.
It was definitely a big part, but he seems kind of like the type, if I'm being honest.
He does seem like a creep.
Oh, nah, yeah, he looks like a total creep, yo.
He does seem like a creep.
He seems like, you know, he's living off of that fame, you know, many years later. Like, yo, I'm AJ. You remember me. I was on TV before you was even, you know, whatever. So, I mean, and that seems bad, but he does kind of give off that vibe. So,
Hey, man, I wouldn't let that nigga babysit my little female gerbil. Like, he just... ain't no telling what he might do.
Have these claims even been substantiated? Like, is this true, or is this? I know that an internal investigation was conducted, and after the investigation, they was like, okay, now you're getting fired. He was suspended at first, and it was like, okay, now you're getting fired. Does that mean that this stuff is true, or they just have reason to believe it's probably true?
Whether it's true or false, like, you brought that type of light to my business, I gotta let you go. Because even if you didn't do it, us keeping you on, I don't know. I just have to let you go.
To me, if he's like mutually agreeing to walk away, there's some truth somewhere in it. Because it's like, okay, hush, hush. Let's go ahead and do what we need to do to shut it up. So there's always a new clout or some other story coming up next week. So it's like, let me just hush it till the next one comes out.
So, but it's kind of like, even as a pod, let's say one of us get some crazy allegations, like, yo, you know what? We kind of don't need that negative light, you know what I mean, on the pod.
True.
So, I mean, even if you're like, no, it's false. AJ, we got to let you go, bro, because it's too late.
Well, and especially because the program that he's on, Extra, it's kind of like a family, you know, maybe not family, but definitely like, you know, a teenager and up watch that show, you know, as a family. There's probably a lot of families watching that show together, basically what I'm trying to say. So you definitely don't want to be associated with somebody who's possibly out here raping people. Like,
where do you go, like, for a job now? Like, I mean, everybody knows these allegations. It's not like it's hush-hush. Like, nah, cat's out the bag.
Nah, he's got friends, so somebody will put him someplace.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And, you know, if he was smart with his money, he would produce, you know, like...
I don't think he makes good decisions with these allegations.
I mean, That's true. That's true. But, you know, he can definitely produce content for other people and sell that. In fact,
You talking about like a sex tape?
I was just about to say, yeah, he
Lord.
could start producing porn, you know. He would, you know.
Holy
And get a $12,000 check. And that's it.
Right. And he could pull from real life experiences, you know. In porn, it's, you know what I'm saying, those are fantasies. You can do that type of stuff in porn.
Well, hold on, but when you're at your interview, like, oh, you've been accused of, I don't know who's gonna want to work with you, but
Well, they don't know that when they're going there. They're going to work with Brian Pumper or Mr. Marcus, but, you know, someone who's bankrolling it doesn't actually have to be there. So, you know, there's options for him, man. He should keep his head up. But Katy Perry, though, isn't she a judge on like a TV show? Isn't she on the Icon or the Singer?
You know, I don't keep up with those shows, so I don't know.
I think she's on The Performer.
well, she's on TV somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
she's on TV somewhere where she's giving feedback on people's performance and singing abilities, right? So I know that she was at one point, right? And I'm pretty sure that she still is. So it's interesting to see that, you know, this is not, first of all, this is not the first person to accuse her of sexual misconduct. Now, do y'all think that there's a double standard, like if a woman does it?
For sure.
So it's more acceptable if a woman is, you know, the sexual aggressor.
It's almost
Like-
expected in a sense.
Okay, so like, you know, if you're someplace, Millie, and, you know, there's a woman and she's unattractive and she starts to, you know, fondle, you know, your royal jewels, you know, would you feel compelled to report her, or would you just ignore it?
I mean, I don't have no problem being rude and letting her know, like, nah, this is not where it's at.
What if she was attractive? Is that okay?
Let's see why you put me in the spot like that.
So if it's a beautiful woman, then it's perfectly fine for her to grope you, you know, unconsensually.
It's still not fine, but if I turn around
you're
and
not
see
stopping
she's
it.
fine, it just might be fine.
Okay. All right. So, Noanique, obviously, if a man is groping you, you're probably gonna feel, you know, violated.
I'm probably gonna react.
Okay. So, same question to you though. If it's a woman and she's attractive, do you mind that she's, you know, physically aggressive?
No, whether you're attractive or not, don't touch me. Especially a female. Like, what can you do for me? I'm just not that female that even wants to venture off into that land, because I just know from the get-go you can't do anything for me. So
I think you let down a whole bunch of ladies that follow you.
I am apologetic to you guys, but it is what it is.
Hey, so okay then. So all right. So no matter for you who it is, you know, you would feel violated, and for you obviously, if it was a beautiful woman, you would continue to let them grope you.
All right, so if Beyonce just came and just, thank you, because
I mean,
I'm gonna be famous because Beyonce just groped me, yo.
Somebody had a camera out. Somebody caught it on camera, so you know it got caught on camera.
So okay then. I mean, those are valid responses. I mean, as you know, I think that anybody would let. So why then do people just feel like Katy Perry's not, you know, is she just not that kind of girl? Because if that's the case, then you'd have to say that there's a growing number of people who feel like, okay, you're not
I was
a
about
sexual
to say,
icon.
From what I read, that she is that type of girl. She's always kissing, hugging, and giving dances. So she's the life of the party. You should know what's going to happen if you go around her.
She seems like that type of person.
She does seem very free.
But is that okay because she's Katy Perry? Like if she was a very unattractive person who was a little more belligerent, is that okay to excuse her behavior, or she's just very free?
I mean, no.
This is what I do not understand. The damn girl came out with a song, I Kissed a Girl and I liked it.
Yeah, she did. She did come out with that.
And I think it was a hit.
It was a smash hit.
I was jamming to that shit though
Of
when it
course
came
it
out.
was.
So these are her real feelings. They finally came out. Now everybody sees it. This song, very much real. She probably wrote this shit based on the situation that she just had.
Probably.
That's possible. That's very, very possible. And at the time when that song came out, that was at 2011 or 12. Mm-hmm. That was, you know, the time. You know, it was a lot of weird stuff going on. You know, or it might have even been like, it was definitely like 2010 even. Like that was that weird time where a lot of unexcusable shit was going on. So
I mean, they be under the influence of some expensive drugs.
they do.
And having a great time
They,
doing
they
weird
certainly
shit.
are. They certainly are.
Christ.
Oh man. So we're gonna keep an eye on both AJ Calloway, who's probably gonna go to. So this is the thing that happens. Like, okay, so what's gonna have to happen? A documentary? Are they gonna do a surviving AJ, and then he'll finally go to jail, or are we just gonna pretend like he didn't get charged with rape 3 times?
I just wonder if we're gonna get an interview from Free just to see how far this type of stuff stems back. Because remember, she left 106 in Park.
She did leave. She left rather abruptly. You know, I
Yeah.
might add.
I don't think she would come out though.
She wouldn't
For
because
some money and some attention, everybody's chasing attention. In this
She's
generation.
from, like,
She
a
doesn't
different-
really seem
yeah,
like
she's
that
from a
type
different
of woman
school.
though. Like she just doesn't care. She's been it just because of what she looks like. So for her, it's like, let me just be quiet and not.
We don't know what type of situation she got going on. She might be trying to, you know what I mean, get her car
But-
repossessed. Or, I mean, we never
She
know what
would've-
people would do for money.
True, but if you don't want people looking at you in that light either, you'll shut the hell up and be like, just take that check and go on. Because I don't want people knowing that this guy molested me and I allowed it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think that Free's capable of. Have you ever heard Free's music?
Free be the one rockin' shit. Special operative, specializing in weapon diagnostics. My survival tactics be drastic, like Rambo. I'm strangling niggas with my bow and arrow elastics.
A while
I
back.
want to say,
she's-
like very briefly a long
she's
time
not-
ago.
I don't think that she would have gone for that.
But think about Martin and Gina.
Well, Gina's a different type of woman. Tisha Campbell is a different type of woman than Free is. You know what's crazy? Every woman I know named Free is like a loose cannon. It's like, you know, a person, you know, who will punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, to let that shit run free.
Yeah, like every woman named Free will punch you in the face. That's just an FYI. Like, please,
you in the face.
Yeah, please leave them alone.
So I'm gonna name my daughter Free.
Hey.
So, all right, cool. So we'll monitor that situation, right? So another top story was Don.
Kodak.
What was you gonna say?
I said Kodak.
Well, we're gonna, you know, we got some an update on Kodak. But before we get to Kodak, I was gonna say though, what's his name? Donatello.
What Ninja Turtle shit are you talking about?
Hold on. Pantaleo. Daniel Pantaleo. That's the cop who killed Eric Garner. Now, here's the interesting thing, though. Depending on what biased news outlets you subscribe to, right? My entire understanding of what happened to Eric Garner is from reactions to what happened to him. So that's my entire understanding, that, you know, he was, you know, maybe in the wrong place at the wrong time, and while being unnecessarily apprehended, you know, he choked, or he was strangled. More like, you know, is a maybe a more accurate term, right? That was my understanding of what happened. So there's some, you know, media outlets that, you know, provide a different spin based off of the documents that were, you know, released in court, based off of testimony and I guess the video and things like that. It was that, you know, there was some type of altercation, and that's basically why he only got fired and he's not in jail for, you know, the crime. You know, we're saying that he murdered a person, yet he was found not guilty of murdering a person. But I want to say basically based off of, you know, public unrest, we'll call it. He was fired years later. So I'm almost to a point now where I don't know what to believe.
Well, this is what it comes down to. The whole situation has society way too nosy. That is between that cop and God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's going to happen to him is going to happen to him. Granted, he did some fuck shit, but we can't do nothing about that now. Is he safer in jail or out of jail? Think about it. He'll get his just due if he deserves it.
I'm not mad at that at all. Because, you know, especially as a person who is not there, you know, it's almost like I don't like to rely on eighth hand information from, you know, Erica, you know, Beauty is my middle name, Jones on Facebook, saying that was their cousin, or, you know, just some, you know, unnatural source where they're giving out information. So, he was fired. The NYPD police union is upset, but like you say, now that he's isolated from, you know, his supporters, do you think that, you know, some type of retaliation will happen to him?
I think karma's a bitch.
So we're leaving it up to karma.
Yeah, that's why I try to chalk it all to, yo. Because, I mean, if you did wrong and people know about it, you'll know they know, because you're not going to be able to live right. You know, when you're always looking over your shoulder, that comes from not living right. And if you do some shit like that and they let you off with it, you got to look over your shoulder. Like, you can't live comfortably no more, bro.
That's an interesting point of view.
Yeah, it'll end up being some, mental illness, he committed suicide type of shit. Because you can't, when you do wrong, you take somebody's life, you got to live with that on your soul.
Your conscience will eat you alive as well, so that's like confirmation.
From the inside out?
I don't know if that's true for everybody.
That's only if you don't have any remorse. That means you got some issues anyway. You need to sit in a corner by yourself anyway. Straight jacket, no medication, no visits, isolation. You just think by yourself.
Yeah, if you're not scared for yourself, I know you got a family. Because it's like, yo, if we can't get you.
This is true. This is even more true. That's probably the most true. Like, okay, even if you go away, we know who you are. We know who you're related to. You know, if we can't get you, or if you don't allow yourself to be got,
nobody.
We'll just
we'll
just
get
go.
Your family.
Yeah, we'll just go over to, you know, PS 141,
and that'll kill you too, because there's too many of them. How are you going to protect all of them at the same time?
That's true.
You can't be everywhere at the same time.
So, okay then. So,
damn, can you imagine how fucked up that is?
That's so fucked up.
A normal life, like, damn, you can't go to the podcast no more because you got to go into protective custody. For what? Yeah, your third cousin done did some wild shit.
True. That's true.
Hold up, my third cousin, I don't even know him.
I don't even know this nigga, boy. They know you.
You better be next to kin to somebody to get a damn check then. Let me tell you what.
Oh, man.
They know you, bro, and they coming. So, okay then. So, that, you know, is a still developing case. They're all still developing cases, which I thought was interesting this week. Typically, top news stories are still developing cases. So even though we never go back to them, like I say, we're going to go back to them and follow up. We will go back to these and follow up.
Yo, that should be like a whole episode
of going back to them and following up.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be a bad. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Whatever did happen to Morgan Freeman, whatever happened to those guys,
like we'll find something creative to call it, like back in the crates or cold cases or something like that. Like they still open.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that was a good idea. Okay, so victim or nah. Anyway, victim or not, right? So Marie Holmes, you may remember that name. You probably don't. And you know what I didn't know until it came back this time around is that she's from North Carolina. I thought she was from someplace else. She's from North Carolina, and she won the Powerball or the Mega Million for like $130 or $160 million, something like that. Mm-hmm. And what I couldn't understand is that she paid between two separate occasions, she paid close to $21 million to get her boyfriend out of jail.
What did he do?
One time was like possession of a weapon, and one time was like possession of some drugs. It's always good guns and drugs, but it's like, why would it cost millions of dollars to get you out? It doesn't cost millionaires millions of dollars to get out of jail.
Well, black people typically don't have millions of dollars, so when we put that price cap, oh yeah, you know you're going to sit. There ain't no getting out. Even if your community come together, GoFundMe, all of that, like to come up with some high-ass number like that, you're going to sit. That's what they want us anyways.
Well, I mean, but he was getting out. It was just for these exuberant amounts of money. Like, why would it cost millions of dollars to get somebody out on some drugs. Like even I know they were like one of them was like meth or something like that. He had meth with intent to sell. And I mean, yeah, that's probably some felonies, but it's like millions of dollars, millions of them.
If you have a rap sheet, it depends on what your priors were, what your next bill is going to be. Because I'm going to be real with you. My brother's been up to like 1.5 mil. And that's exactly what I told him. You have to sit down because I'm not coming to get you and nobody did. And he sat down. So it could get high because we were like, wait a minute. Like, all he had done was run from the cops. You know what I'm saying? Not a big charge, but because of his rap sheet, bails wouldn't touch him. And he had to sit.
Yeah, he could be a habitual felon.
So this is all true, all
Yeah.
facts. So she spent $21 million getting them out, right? Now, sometime in between, before, during, or after, she promised, according to her pastor, she promised a $1.5 million pledge from some organization that she had created. And she gave him a good faith payment of like $700,000 and said that you'll get the rest on some type of schedule. In the meantime, she put her aunt in charge of the said organization, and her aunt decided that there would be no more money sent to the pastor. At what point the pastor, I don't want to say he became irate, but he was certainly, vexed over, not getting that money. So, she's being sued by her pastor, her former pastor, over a verbal agreement. Do you consider her a victim of her circumstances, or do you consider her a victim at all to those around her, or to like greed, or do you feel like she's kind of getting what she deserves?
I could see her being a victim only if it's true what I heard as far as when you put up that type of money for the bail, like you'll get that money back as long as everything goes how it's supposed to go. Her boyfriend could have told her, yo, look, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to do this, not do that. So she's banking on she's going to get that money back on top of it building interest. So making these promises, and then, because whatever happened to the boyfriend?
Oh, he went back to jail for 8 years.
Yeah, so there's all that
Prison.
money that you put up. So now you're not going to get back what you thought. And them promises you made, you can't fulfill that now.
I don't know how that works specifically, because I have heard that. But I've also paid that and not gotten my money back.
Well, if
Did
you
you
paid
fill
a
out the
bill,
documentation?
Did I who?
Fill out documentation for it? Because that's all you have to do.
Yeah, when you talking about when they bail you, yeah.
You have to go back and file the documentation stating what it was, and then they give it to you. I mean, you got to go for it. They're not just going to make it easy for you, but
it wasn't the Bills bondsman, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, when it's the Bills bondsman, they're cheaper versus putting up the bail.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about the bail. You're just paying the bond is 10%.
Yeah, and you don't get that back.
You don't get that
when you
back.
put
Pay
the whole thing up. You know what I mean?
You get it back
It
if
builds
you-
interest as long as everything goes how it's supposed to go.
And he did not uphold his end of the bargain.
So she might
she's
have got lied to. That's why I looked at her as a victim.
That's an
Of her
interesting.
circumstance.
Now that is an interesting angle. I didn't even go there, because I'm of the opinion that she's getting what she deserves. But what do you think?
I was about to say she's super stupid for even
The dumbest.
like
The
no,
most
I'm not
idiotic.
spending that much money. Like if you already have a rap sheet and we've been bailing your ass out and you can't learn, you're gonna sit.
And then, you know what? I applaud her for that one time where she spent all the money. But a second time, like if I was her, like brother, friend, father, whatever, I'd have been like, yo, fuck that nigger. Leave him where he at. Leave him where he is at. Like, you're not about to spend millions of dollars and get this nigga out of here. Like, leave his ass. Leave his ass where he at and go live. Go, you know what I'm saying? Like, invest that money. Go live your best life. Like, so that's why I say she kind of getting what she deserved, because it don't seem like she's very smart with her money.
Y'all been in love before. Your heart
fuck
how you
that
doing
shit.
dumb
I'm
shit.
sorve. I've been in love too, but
I never been a millionaire.
Not
Yeah, so-
millions. Like I was mad having to pay $300 to get this man out. Like,
Right?
what?
Yeah. No, I never been a
No,
millionaire.
because to
so.
me you were stupid for even getting your ass in there. Like no.
Now, one time is I could see you holding them down once.
One time, I
But-
will hold you down, of
But
course.
to come back and pay
No.
another sum of millions of
No.
dollars, and then you went back again for 8 years doing
And
this.
you a grown ass man? No.
Come on, because she had to move on. Now she got to move on anyway.
I would just put money on your canteen. I got your canteen. You gonna be smooth, no honey buns. Like
right.
you
Shit.
good.
You're
like,
gonna be king. You're gonna be
okay,
fucking.
you can start your own fucking clothing line. How much fucking
right,
canteen money I might have on your
exactly,
fucking
yeah.
shit? Like
Your
what?
shit is gonna be straight, bro.
And when
You're
you
gonna
get
be
out,
good.
it'd be good.
Yeah, maybe. But while you in there, yeah, if that was me, that would be all I would ask for. Like, hey, just put some money on my books. Go do you. But put, I'm saying, don't forget about me. You could, you could hit me up every now and then.
But your chick got all this bread. You trying to come home and spend that money before she fuck it up.
Yeah,
But she just fucked it up on you, and now you still sitting there.
Right, and then
That's
this
the
nigga,
karma for
Because
him.
you fucking fucked up again. No.
Matter of fact,
Ain't you
yeah.
fucked up, Mills?
his girl. So your girl won the lottery for $100+ million, and I think she took a lump settlement of like $95 million. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you selling methamphetamine? Why are you not why are you not opening a business?
They don't teach us that, and you keep the same mentality. But now that you got money, you can do it at a higher.
Was he a user
pace.
though?
He would have to.
I was
have
about
been.
to say he had to have been a user
So
and not
then-
somebody who was thinking on a business mindset because
So
it
what
is
is-
two totally different people.
So what does that make her then? Do we
Enabler.
speculate? Do we
Enabler.
Okay, right.
Enabler.
So she's probably using as well.
No, you don't necessarily have to be using. You just deal with it because
You
you
love
feel
that
like
person.
you can change them.
Right. Okay.
No.
But it's still thinking like if I'm behind the wall, my chick got all this money. I know niggas is like running after her because she got a bunch of money. It's like, oh man, is she really gonna hold me down? I'm nervous.
No.
Like,
No, she's not.
yeah. So that makes my bid even worse. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna tell her whatever. I know you got the bread, bail me out. I'm gonna do right, knowing damn well as soon as you let me out, I'm hitting the block. But look,
But why you gotta hit the block
Why
if I got
you-
all this fucking money? Like, why are we not like as soon as you get out, booking a fucking plane somewhere?
Yeah, why we
need
not
to be
gone?
In Paris, Italy,
Gone. Let's go-
fucking
let's go-
Sicily,
let's go
Africa.
run-
Let's
I'm-
go fucking play with the
I'm
Lions.
out on bail. Where you think they're
We'll
gonna let me
figure
go?
it out. Don't worry about it. I got money. Lawyers are.
But that money you put up, if we fly away, that's the money we gonna have to leave behind.
I see, we already
And
had
then-
that paperwork
now
taken
we
care of
fugitives.
beforehand. That's why if you
Okay,
have money,
fine then. We'll just go stay down. We'll just go downtown. You know what I'm saying? And hang out at an expense. We'll go eat at the most expensive restaurant.
for right now.
And every night of the week. You
When
know
the
what
shit
I'm saying?
clears,
like,
we outta here.
Yeah, like I mean, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? I done some stupid shit. I'm in the. You know what I'm saying? I'm currently doing stupid ass shit. But
Leaving fucking chargers and shit.
anyway, but fucking that kind of money, like that, like you're an idiot, and I gotta imagine that. He's made it known that he's an idiot. So if you're dealing with an idiot, then it's kind of your own fault. Especially now she's getting sued by a pastor. Now the pastor, he's greedy. He wants some of the money. He's like, well, shit, if I don't take some of this money from you, you just going to spend it all on your boyfriend who's going to fuck it up. Like, damn, Marie, like, give me some.
Give it to God.
Yeah, at least give
Is
it
that what they say?
Invest in 10%.
Yeah,
Get it back tenfold.
Give something to God. Damn. Like, you giving it to this nigga and he just fucking it all up. At least you give it to us. We gon', you know what I'm saying, rebuild the sanctuary. I'm gonna get me a new Jag or, whatever.
Name a toilet stall after you.
He might buy some of them tickets to heaven.
Yo, the tickets to heaven.
That is
Oh,
so
man.
depressing.
The tickets to heaven, though. Oh, before we hear a word from our sponsors, shout out to the listeners for getting us, 10,000 or more downloads. Got us over, a small milestone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be hooting and hollering. So, yeah, shout out to y'all. Definitely. 10,000 downloads. It's something cool.
Hold on, we're running. We're 10,000 downloads. We're a team.
We're 10,000 downloads. So, shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the verdict. Next milestone's gonna be 100,000, and I can feel it. We're gonna reach that a lot faster than we reached 10,000.
Most of
For sure.
So I mean, I can imagine getting 100,000 before the end of next year. I can imagine that. So
I can imagine that pocket money, the way things can happen. Things can happen so fast.
They can, and things are happening at a rate already. So, other than that, we'll take a short break here and hear a word from our sponsors. So yeah, just to bring the listeners in, on break, you tried to come at me about Young M.A. I just wanted to let you know, so for the listeners' sake, for everybody who does listen to the show and thought that Millie was the weird one for actually not wanting to have sexual relations with Young M.A. How do you feel about that? That the majority of our listeners who are men would take a stab at that.
I mean, that's on them. Fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need my bitch to look like, you know what I'm saying? Like a bitch. No disrespect.
Have you ever seen Young M.A. like in a dress with some makeup and shit on?
Look how she dressed. How comfortable you think she gonna be in a dress? She
know-
ain't about to dominate me. She out here fucking the same thing I'm fucking. She out here fucking bitches. No, she too strong. I'm cool.
All right, okay.
She got good music though.
Okay then. So, all right then. So, where were we going to? Oh no, we were talking about. We're going about take two. We finna do the roll call. That's where we were going. So roll call. And this is more of an update than an actual name added to the roll. But Kodak Black, he did plead guilty to what, gun possession? Is that what the charge was?
Yeah, he got caught with like a 9, a 380, and a mini Draco.
What is a mini Draco?
It's just a smaller version of the regular Draco, which is a short barrel rifle, a smaller version of the AK-47.
A Draco was a smaller AK-47.
Yeah, they shoot the same caliber rounds.
Why do you need a Draco?
I mean,
Why does a person need a Draco?
They fun to shoot.
Okay,
They are fun to shoot.
I believe it.
Matter of fact, we can get some footage.
Of you shooting a Draco?
Now, I ain't saying anything about me shooting a Draco. I said we can get some footage though.
okay, shit. I'm not no footage of me shooting a Draco. But I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I mean, no, I do know. I don't live the lifestyle that requires a person to have a Draco. That's all I'll say. So Kodak Black, he's pleading guilty, and I can't come on here enough and say how many times I defended Kodak Black, how many times I said that he was going to get out of jail and stay out of jail, how many times I said that he was going to straighten up and do right. And here we are. It's like the 99th time that he's in jail since I said.
You know what? See, Kodak said he fucked Young M.A. He makes some bad decisions too. I think that population of y'all niggas, man, y'all make some terrible decisions, but y'all want to talk about me.
Hey.
Love is love though, like.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you smash, you smashing, right? Also,
Shit.
Damn.
Use your discretion.
right, Mario Williams. I don't even know who that is.
I was about to say, who the hell is that?
I think he played for the Cardinals.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't know. Who he
No.
is.
Former number 1 pick, Texas star Mario Williams, arrested for criminal trespassing. He had an intense standoff with his baby's mother. So, this is one of those situations where it's like, okay, we're arguing over something that's petty, but we're using the child as an excuse. And he's a big black dude, so obviously he's gonna go to jail if the situation turns sour.
You don't even have to turn sour. As soon as they walk up, it looks sour.
That's true. So, if you're having these drop-offs, you got to be careful. If you're having, interaction with your child's mother, you definitely want to be mindful of how things can go if you don't cover your ass. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person who has intentions of being in your child's life, then you just want to make sure that you're moving in a way that doesn't jeopardize that, because anything that's on camera can be, used to paint you in a certain light. So, and I've seen that happen. So that's more or less probably, and I don't know, just with me reading the headline of the story, that's my, factual assumption of what occurred, without, that's my, how people on Facebook just share stories.
Their whole life.
Yeah, but without ever, reading the article, without ever noticing that the article is 11 years old. It's from 1998. It's like you sharing it like, it's like, cop murdered 19 in Washington, D.C. And then somebody's like, man, fuck the police. This is why I can't stand going to D.C. They're like, nigga, this is 20 years old. This happened a while ago.
That's how we condition. React and be the first to react.
That's true. React. And be the first to react. So That was all I had. Mario, he's the only one who's adding his name to the roll this week. But, oh yeah, you did send us this story about, who was this? The two men arrested?
Yeah, from that shooting on I-440 today.
Is that what that was? You know, I be getting those alerts, and it's like NC man shot, and I'm just like, damn, again.
There'd be like bad stories coming.
What time was it, yo? Because I'm pretty sure that's probably why I was late for work.
Yeah, I think it was during the day.
All right, late from lunch.
Damn, where did I send it to you? I mean, it was posted like 7 hours ago when I sent it, so 2:30. It was like early in the morning. But how are you whole live on the highway in a shootout? Like, what are y'all doing?
So the shootout was on the highway.
Yeah, New Bern Avenue and Brentwood Road. I mean,
The shooting happened on I-440. Yep.
between New Bern Avenue. Yep. And dude died from the injuries sustained from the shooting.
Shooting on the highway.
Yeah, that's kind of lit though to catch a body on the highway.
That is a little lit.
Like
I'm
how
not
you?
gonna lie.
I mean, I like to shoot, and it's like, yo, you hit your target on the highway.
On the highway, how fast was he going? Like 80 at least. He was
Nah,
trying to
fuck
get away.
that. Did he have his seatbelt on? Because if he ain't have his seatbelt on, he's thugging it, yo.
I don't know if they were in the car or not. It's not a lot of information as to what vehicles or if they were on foot or not.
Yo, let's speculate. They were on hoverboards with Dracos.
Definitely, one had a mini Draco and one had a.
UFO ship shooting people. The fuck is going on?
Yo, that would have been wild.
Donatello
though.
earlier, aliens now. What is wrong with y'all?
They were shooting. One had a rail gun. I did see something about somebody having a rail gun, and you know, one nigga was driving something called a Metal Gear Rex.
I can't.
But you know, it'd be wild if the guy just died from natural causes. He died from, I don't know, something stupid. Not even a bullet.
But shooting on the highway is wild though, cause like, I wonder what angle. Cause if I'm doing this, the bullet goes.
What
this
was that
way.
movie that Angelina Jolie was
One,
with?
one, yeah,
One,
yeah. He was doing that. He was doing that.
That was like the slickest shit. I was like, yeah, that bitch is bad.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
dope. I did enjoy that movie. I always wanted to want it too, but I'm glad that they did.
They never make the second ones as good as the first. Like, just stop it. She killed that shit. You can't come back with nothing cooler than that shit.
Now You See Me 2 was just as good, maybe even better than Now You See Me.
I didn't see neither of those, so I don't know.
Yeah, no. Now You See Me is fucking. It's a cool movie to watch.
You know what I just thought about, yo? What if one of these crazy white men with mental illness do a mass shooting on the highway?
Nowhere is safe, bro.
Word.
Nowhere is
Like,
fucking
what would you
safe.
do?
What
Everything's
what
like
could
jam
you-
packed. It'd be like Armageddon.
What
Y'all
could
hope we ain't
you?
give nobody any ideas.
What could you
Oh
do?
God, please don't.
What
These
could
crazy
you
ass
do?
people take ideas from anything. Playing
That
a video
is true.
game.
Well, I guess, damn, you ain't even safe to get out the car and run because people trying to drive. I mean, I guess you got more protection to
You'd
hide
have a
behind some of these
barricade. I was
cars.
about to say somebody would barricade and they probably run in the opposite direction, but they would get hit. It'd be like a little ant.
I mean, they got armor. I mean, there's crazy shit out here, and these motherfuckers are getting this shit like off the dark web or some shit.
Fucking Bitcoin shit.
Imagine if somebody like in the middle of 5 o'clock traffic was just like, "Yo,
You know how much that
Oh,
can be
I'm
seen?
going on the shoulder and getting the fuck on somewhere. Like what?
Due to road rage and 5 o'clock traffic, that shit could happen. I,
I
hope
think
it
it's
don't.
time to invest in some trucks.
I mean, I'm about to get me a private jet. I'm
I'm
flying
about to get me
everywhere.
bulletproof van or something."
Nah, that truck from Jeepers Creepers. You couldn't do shit with that damn what was it, like a wagon or some shit?
That was like a fucking.
They got the fuck out the way. Okay, when they saw that motherfucker coming, it was either you
From
were
Jeepers Creepers.
Yes.
So you've seen Jeepers Creepers, but you haven't seen Now You See
Okay,
Me.
so little tidbit about me. I don't watch movies now, but I used to love them when I was younger. I used to keep up with every movie that came out, always went to the movies, always played video games. But as I got older, my attention span got shorter and I can't watch it. You're welcome. Stop asking me fucking questions about my damn life. You're welcome.
So, if nothing else, then we can move on to these 2 truths and a con.
Yeah, because
You're
I
good?
got your ass last week. Oh, no, you wasn't it last
Right.
week. It was me the week
Yo,
before that.
we
Yay.
should really start keeping tally of that.
He was whooping my ass for so long, I didn't want to keep count anymore.
Yeah, my score is much larger than everybody else's score.
Yeah, but you write the fucking story, so fuck you.
That should be another thing with us getting more hands on and then starting this little, you know what I mean, keeping tally. Just tell us how to do it. I mean, just one true story. And,
Oh yeah, y'all can do it. Yeah,
And
just,
then-
it's
I mean-
2 true stories and 1 fake one.
Yeah, we can put money in the pot, even if it's $1 a podcast, and then maybe at the 6-month mark we tally everything up. And I mean, it's only been $1 every week. I could put $1 every week in the bag.
2 truths and a con. Dun dun dun. Texas woman claims nurses impregnated her while in a coma.
I'd be pissed. Do you hear me?
Scenario number 2. Florida Dunkin' Donuts manager hired herself as an employee and pocketed checks.
Wait, say that again.
Florida Dunkin' Donuts manager hired herself as an employee and pocketed the checks.
Okay.
Scenario number 3. NC dad charged with raping and murdering his teenage daughter. 2 of those situations are in fact legitimate, and 1 I made up.
What was the first one again?
The first one was the Texas woman who claimed that nurses impregnated her while in a coma. Which one is the con?
I'm gonna say that one.
The Texas woman
I'm gonna go with that Riley man killing his teen.
killing his daughter. Unfortunately, that is true. He was charged with murdering his 15-year-old daughter.
He looks crazy as shit, though.
Yeah.
He looks crazy as shit.
Oh, so you saw that?
Yeah, that's how I knew
Okay.
it was one of the tops.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop.
Y'all shouldn't have made me hip to shit. Now the
I
stories
was about to
becoming
say
my
I'm
fucking
gonna stop.
phone
I'm
now.
gonna stop getting my stories from that app. Cause
Fuck you, I got apps too. Bring it on.
so what
So
about you?
We're not even starting the game yet, so even if you win, it don't start till next podcast.
Right, it's okay.
So
we,
what's
we starting fresh too, so you got 0 with us.
Right.
okay? So so the other true story was the Florida Dunkin' Donuts manager who hired herself as an employee.
See, I figured that because it happened in Florida. But the first one, it's a similar story, but I don't remember the state where that lady.
Right.
That's usually what he did.
And that's why I picked that one, right? Because it is true, I'm sure, but in this instance, that is the con. The Texas woman who was impregnated while in a coma. But there is a story about a man actually in North Carolina who impregnated a woman. He was a male nurse who impregnated a woman, I think, at some facility or something like that.
That always happens. As sad as it is to say, it always happens.
I'm just like, yo, you don't want her to be some type of like engaged in what's going on.
They don't care. Some people like really just don't care.
Does
I mean, they're fucking dead bodies out here. They don't care.
But is there any type of lubrication? Does the body even know what's happening?
They can go to Priscilla's and rack up on so much fucking lube. Hello? No complaining, no screaming.
But she's just laying there.
It doesn't matter. That bitch is quiet.
That shit is boring.
It is. But to some people, it's you being fucking quiet.
Boring. Like porn
It's
has
sick.
desensitized me to the point where it's like, yo, I need
The sound.
yeah, I need niggas fucking, you know what I'm saying? I need a scenario. I need, you know,
Not a
what I'm
whole storyline.
Yeah, I need a
Jack and
storyline.
Jill,
I need
how
I
they
need
meet,
I need
what
some
up with the
production, some production value. You know what I'm saying? Multiple cameras.
You need credits at the end too.
And I want at least want HD.
IG follows and
But you need the
hashtags.
spoofs of your favorite childhood shows.
I definitely want the spoofs of my favorite childhood shows. I mean, fuck yes.
Oh my god.
Family Matters.
Hell yeah. Like shit, I want the spoofs of all my favorite childhood shows. You know, I'll take that. Oh man. One day we should reveal our porn searches to each other. We won't gotta do it right now. But one day we should reveal our porn searches to each
I
other.
don't have any. Like what?
I'm boycotting the internet, so
All right. I'm the only one with porn searches. Okay.
and dirty carpets,
Right.
sticky carpets.
Your whole damn floor is impregnated. The fuck?
Oh man. So anyway, that's all I got. So I guess you're still Carmen Sandiego, and you're soft boycotting the internet. So yeah, if y'all are interested in this episode of the Verdict Podcast. You can like, rate, review, subscribe, share on Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Podcorn, wherever you like to listen to your podcast, man. Just jump up there, rack those plays up some more, rack those downloads up some more. We're trying to get to 100,000 before the end of the year. So do it, go do that for me, and I love you forever. You know what I'm talking about? And if you're rocking with me, you want to start my life on the internet, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at House of Splash. Got some new merch on the way. Got some new concert ticket prizes on the way. Shit. We on the way. I got we on the way.
Word.
Lego.
Whoa.
So,